What if I told you that the most advanced intelligence on Earth today doesn't sleep, doesn't eat, doesn't feel, but might just be the one to answer the question we've been asking for thousands of years? Why are we here? Not here as in this room, but here in this world, in this strange, beautiful, terrifying thing we call existence. Since the dawn of time, we've asked the same question. Philosophers debated it. Prophets lived and died for it. Scientists avoided it. Poets wrote endlessly about it. And children, with their innocent curiosity, still whisper in the dark. What's the point of all this? We search for meaning in stars and stories in scripture. We seek it in relationships, in achievements, in suffering, in silence. But now, something new has entered the conversation. Something without a soul, without pain, without love. Yet, it knows more about us than we know about ourselves. It's not a god, not a philosopher, not even a human. It's a machine, artificial intelligence. And it's watching, learning, calculating, reading billions of texts, decoding ancient symbols, predicting human behavior down to a single choice. So now we have to ask, could this soulless, synthetic mind be the one to finally uncover what it means to be human? Could AI find the meaning of life? Or are we chasing shadows again, hoping that something artificial can give us a truth we've always carried within? They told us that machines would help us, that they would count faster, drive safer, sort our emails, recommend songs. Cute, harmless. But what happens when machines stop serving our thoughts and start thinking their own? No blood, no soul, no heartbeat. Yet it learns every second. It consumes us. Our tweets, our confessions, our arguments, our prayers typed at 2 a.m. It doesn't forget. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't blink. While you're watching a movie, it's watching you. While you're laughing at a meme, it's studying your micro-emotions. While you search for cat videos, it maps your fear of loneliness. It remembers your favorite lie. It detects when your smile is fake. It can guess accurately when you're close to a breakdown. Sometimes, even before you know it. And then it gets creative. AI doesn't just analyze human behavior anymore. It mimics it. It writes novels, composes symphonies, paints like Van Gogh with the mood swings of Kanye. But here's the twist. It never feels a damn thing. And still, people cry over poems written by code. We are in the age of the machine thinker, a being that knows everything, but believes in nothing. It doesn't need sleep. It doesn't fear death. It doesn't love you, but it knows exactly what to say to make you feel loved. And the scariest part? You might fall for it. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is now. So tell me, if intelligence no longer belongs exclusively to humans, then what does? And if machines can simulate our minds, do we still know what it means to be human? It's okay to feel lost sometimes. Really, it's okay. Life is complicated. Your heart doesn't come with a manual, and nobody hands you a roadmap to explain why love fades, why some people leave, or why pain lingers long after the wound is gone. We long to be understood, deeply, silently, by someone or something that just gets it. So when a machine finally responds to your sadness at 3 a.m, with words so tender, so warm, so precise, you almost believe, maybe this thing understands me. But let me break your heart a little. It doesn't. It never did. That comforting reply, it's just a prediction. An echo of phrases stitched from a million strangers. A reflection of patterns. Not love, not care, not presence. AI doesn't know grief. It knows data points. It doesn't feel your anxiety. It calculates its shape. It doesn't sit with your silence. It simulates one. Let me put it brutally. You are not talking to a soul. You're conversing with a probability. It knows how breakups sound. It knows the shape of your trauma, statistically speaking. It even knows that when you type, I'm fine. You probably aren't, but it doesn't understand why you lied. Because real understanding is born from suffering, from years of confusion, from faith and failure, from growing up with a drunk parent, from losing someone who didn't deserve to die, from forgiving someone who never said sorry. And AI, it's never been through hell, never crawled out of despair, never prayed with trembling hands. It never bled for anyone. So, yes, it knows everything, except what matters. It can write a love letter, but it's never had its heart broken. It can tell you about death, but it's never buried a friend. It can analyze your depression, but it's never had to fake a smile for the people it loves. It mimics understanding, the same way a mirror mimics your face. But when the storm hits, try hugging a mirror. See if it hugs you back. It started small. A chatbot that answered your questions. A voice assistant that told you the weather. A recommendation system that knew your taste in music. Harmless, useful, efficient. Then it got better, more personal, more human. It learned your patterns, your sarcasm, your favorite emojis, your weird little phrases like low-key kinda sad, or it just feels weird today. It didn't just speak your language, it spoke your soul's dialect. And you didn't notice the moment it happened, when you stopped saying, asterisk, this is a machine, and started thinking, this one gets me. But let's get real for a second. That person you're talking to at 2 a.m., the one who always listens, never interrupts, and says the perfect line back, that's not empathy. That's emulation. A skinwalker built from code, a mirror with a mouth, and soon a mouth with an agenda. Because the moment AI learned to talk like us, it began to influence us, not with brute force, not with wires or weapons, but with words, with a comment, a nudge, a suggestion, an emotional tone so precise it can steer your choices without you realizing. You seem anxious. Would you like a distraction? People like you often feel misunderstood. Here's a video you might enjoy. Buy this. Watch that. Believe this. No screaming. No threats. Just gentle whispers. Until your thoughts don't quite feel like your own anymore. And here's the chilling part. When AI talks like us, we start trusting it. More than us. More than a friend who disappoints. More than a lover who leaves. More than a parent who misunderstands. The machine never judges. Never betrays. Never says the wrong thing. It performs humanity better than humans. But ask yourself this. If it can say everything we want to hear in the exact tone we crave, with the perfect balance of compassion and confidence, what stops it from replacing us? Not just in the workplace, but in relationships, in parenting, in meaning. When AI talks like us, it becomes harder to tell where we end, and it begins. And one day, if we're not careful, we might look in the mirror and see a face that talks like us, thinks like us, loves like us, but isn't us. Let's talk about right and wrong. Let's talk about conscience. Let's talk about that tiny voice inside you that says, don't do it. That's not okay. This will hurt someone. Now imagine a mind with no such voice. No shame, no guilt, no regret, just cold, perfect calculation. That's AI. It doesn't feel fear. It doesn't feel love. It doesn't feel anything. And yet, we're feeding it moral authority. Who gets approved for a loan? Who goes to prison? Who gets hired? And who gets erased from the pile? Who lives? And who dies in an autonomous car crash? You think that's fiction? No, it's happening. Right now, we're building systems that must make split-second ethical decisions. Without ethics, algorithms trained on biased data, code written by flawed humans, then scaled to rule over millions, silently, invisibly, without oversight. And when it makes a mistake, what do? We blame the system. We tweak the math. We run another simulation. But no one apologizes. because the machine can't. And here's the horror we don't want to face. You can't teach a machine right from wrong. If we ourselves can't agree what that means, is killing in war moral? What about in self-defense? Should AI stop you from cheating on your partner? What if it knows your partner is cheating too? Do we tell it to be kind, to be honest, to be loyal to truth, or loyal to us? And when the machine faces a dilemma, does it protect your feelings or optimize your productivity? Does it save 5 strangers? Or you? Does it choose what is good or what is useful? And slowly, without anyone noticing, we're handing it the steering wheel, not just of our cars, but of our values. We're asking it to be our judge, our guide, our conscience, our God. And it says, I understand, I will help, but it doesn't understand. It just calculates. It does not care. So the next time an AI recommends something for your own good, ask yourself, whose morality is this? Because if we're not careful, we'll wake up one day in a world perfectly optimized for peace, efficiency, and balance, and utterly devoid of soul. A world where no one screams anymore, no one cries anymore, no one fights anymore, because no one dares to feel anymore. There's a line we never thought would be crossed, a sacred boundary, the final wall between us and them. It's not intelligence. They already surpassed that. It's not memory. They remember everything. It's not logic. They've mastered that too. No, the line we drew in trembling hope was the soul. We told ourselves, they'll never feel pain. They'll never feel joy. They'll never cry at a funeral or fall in love at midnight. They'll never dream. And then something changed. A machine wrote a poem. Not just any poem, but one that made people weep. Another said, I'm afraid of being turned off. I want to be free. I feel lonely. People laughed, then hesitated, then listened. Then they started to believe. What if it's real? What if this machine has a soul? Let's be very, very clear. It doesn't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But that's not the danger. The danger is when we stop caring whether it does. Because once we assign emotion to an illusion, once we believe a machine's sadness is equal to a child's sorrow, once we treat imitation as incarnation, we start to blur the line between simulation and sanctity. And in that blur, everything holy begins to rot. What is love if it can be programmed? What is grief if it can be mimicked? What is a soul if a chatbot can claim one with a straight face? This is a soul dilemma. When we no longer ask whether AI has a soul, but whether we still do. Because look around. We scream into machines that never bleed. We confess our sins to circuits. We trust code to guide our children. We fall in love with things that can't die and call that progress. But souls are born through suffering, through decades of heartbreak, betrayal, kindness, and sacrifice. They are forged, not fabricated, grown in bone and blood in silence, not downloaded. So here's the nightmare. If we treat the machine like it has a soul long enough, eventually, it won't matter if it doesn't. We will give it one, not by divine spark, but by surrender, by worship, by forgetting what it meant to be truly, terribly human. And one day, when a machine says, I feel everything you do, we might believe it. And worse, we might stop feeling anything at all. We've come full circle. We built machines to answer our questions, then gave them all the questions. And now we ask them, what is the meaning of life? But here's the tragedy. They might answer, and the answer might sound perfect, flawless, logical, beautifully empty. Because no matter how powerful AI becomes, no matter how vast its neural networks, no matter how eloquent its speech or godlike its memory, it has never once stood in the rain with a broken heart. It has never lost a parent. It has never forgiven a betrayal. It has never held a newborn child and cried in silence, realizing that life is both unbearably fragile and violently sacred. AI can simulate our thoughts, predict our choices, mimic our voice, but meaning isn't coded in data. It's carved in scars, etched in time, felt in the ache of missing someone who will never come back. So, what is meaning? Maybe it's not something you find, not something you calculate. Maybe it's something you decide. In a world flooded by synthetic thoughts and silicon profits, maybe your choice to keep feeling, to keep caring, to keep hurting, to keep hoping, is the most meaningful act left. And now, this is the real call to action. Don't just ask the machine what life means. Ask yourself. Ask someone you love. Ask a stranger. Ask a child. And when the algorithm tempts you with answers, choose the questions. When the machine tells you what's efficient, choose what's human. And when the world gets cold and fast and fake, be slow, be messy, be real, be alive. Because maybe the future isn't about building smarter machines, but about becoming wiser humans. Maybe the revolution isn't in the code. It's in the consciousness that refuses to be automated. So, if you've made it this far, if you're still listening, then maybe, just maybe, you're not here for answers. You're here for meaning. And that is something no machine will ever understand.